Hey guys, Rich here, back with another video, back with another haul video. Well, last weekend my dad and I traveled out to the Phoenix, Tucson, Arizona area. My dad wanted to check the Pima Air and Space Museum off of his bucket list, so I was happy to go with him. And yeah, it was a great experience. Saw lots of old planes, some of the planes that he worked on during his time in the Air Force, and also in his long storied career in aviation. So we did that on Friday, and then on Saturday we drove around Phoenix to a couple different comic book stores. And so yeah, I managed to knock out a large chunk of the THOR run that I've been doing, the volume 1 pre-Simonson run, and I'm getting really close to hitting issue 200, working backwards. And so yeah, I thought I'd just run through what I picked up out in the Phoenix slash Tucson area. So the first comic book store I went to was called Space Monkey Comics. It's actually in Tucson. We finished up with the Pima Air and Space Museum with plenty of time still to hit a comic book store, but not enough time to drive all the way back to Phoenix and then hit comic book stores. So I quickly looked up comic book stores in Tucson and found Space Monkey Comics, which was not too far away from the Pima Air and Space Museum. So we drove there, and yeah, it was a great store, combination of new and old comics, lots of slabs. I went specifically for THOR, but I did find the issue number 2 of the newest Avatar, the Gap Year series, which for some strange reason none of the comic stores in St. Louis have stock of. I came onto this late, so I had to go back and fill in the gaps, and for some reason number 2 has been eluding me here in the St. Louis area, so I managed to find this at Space Monkey Comics. And then I looked at their THOR section, and it didn't prove to be very fruitful for me in terms of the older stuff, but I did find a couple things that I managed to pick up, and all of these back issues were, I believe, 40% off, so got a great deal on these. So this one is the Ultraverse God Wheel. I knew nothing about this. I know nothing about this. It was just in the THOR section, and obviously it features THOR, and it even has THOR up in the box here. And so yeah, I got to do a little bit of digging on what this was. This was an era of comics that I wasn't really reading comics, so I have little to no information on what this is and why THOR is in Malibu Comics, other than I did a little research and saw that it was a Marvel Comics, I think, imprint. So THOR Volume 2, issue 78. Just needed this for my Volume 2 run. Little backstory, I had all of Volume 2, and I slimmed down some of my comics at a certain point, and I'd gotten rid of most of the issues of it, so now I'm once again recollecting Volume 2, so I managed to find issue number 78. And then lastly, at Space Monkey Comics, I found the Immortal Thor issue 25, the Jurgens and Breeding variant cover. Excuse me, I was yawning. Saw this in the comic shops at the time, but with modern comics, I don't necessarily collect variants anymore. I don't display them, and the variants just kind of collect dust. But for 40% off, and I was looking to jonesing to buy stuff at this point, so I managed to pick this up. I love Jurgen the Breeding anyway, so yeah, pretty cool to get that one. And so now we move on to Saturday in Phoenix. The next 2 comic shops I had seen on YouTube. YouTube user Max, I forget his channel name, but he had gone to both these shops, and so I had a little bit of an idea of what their stock was going to be, so I was super excited to go. And so this first store I went to was called Champions Comics, and Phil, the owner, was absolutely amazing. Nothing modern in this store. Prices were reasonably good. For me, a little bit of a sticker shock kind of thing, but having now rebagged these and stuff, I could definitely see that the prices were justified for him. But yeah, super stoked to go through his collection. He was super nice. As soon as he found out that I was working on my Thor run, he managed to show me some other Thors in other boxes that he hadn't filtered out yet, and then also gave me a stack that had just come in that he hadn't even looked at and graded yet. So he was super accommodating. We had a few minute conversation towards the end, found out like was originally from St. Louis for a little while, still has family here. So we got to talking about a little bit of St. Louis and stuff. So super nice guy. He's willing to, like, if you're going to Phoenix and you want to get in touch with him ahead of time, he can set stuff aside for you. Super accommodating. That's one thing about going to all these comic book stores in this area. Super nice owners, super accommodating, like just awesome stores. And then with Champions Comics also, I should link Max's video down below. Phil has got a great Marvel-centric sort of time capsule museum sort of around the walls and stuff of old Marvel ephemera and stuff like that. So yeah, highly recommended. So anyway, I think I got 7 books from Phil at Champions Comics. Thor 206, Thor 211, and again, these are all really great copies. Thor 213, Thor 215, Thor 219, 231, and finally 245. So yeah, I was really pleased to have stopped in there and met Phil and talked to him for a little while. So after we left there, we got some lunch, and then we headed all the way across town to Fantastic Worlds Comics, which again I found through Max's channel, which I'll link that video below as well. And yeah, I had seen him going through some of the stock there and knew I wanted to hit that store. Loved this. I think I found something like, I don't know, 17 books or 10 books or something like that. This totally ate up a chunk or crossed off a chunk of the numbers I was looking for. These were more moderately priced, lower grade, but still excellent books. A couple in here have covers that are a little bit more wrinkly than others, but they were, $5, so I wasn't going to turn those down. So most of these were in the $10 range, a little bit more, a little bit less on some of them. 202, 208, 210, which has an Ulick cover, 212, 218, 227, 228, 230, 233. This is probably this one, and 236 are probably the worst. The most beat up copy, but I believe these were the $5 books. So yeah, huge chunk knocked out at Fantastic Worlds Comics. Again, super nice store. This one had both modern and older stuff, a lot of pops, more toys than some of the other comic shops I went to. But like great staff. As soon as they saw that I was into Thor, I was also wearing a Thor t-shirt. They were like, "Oh man, you're my guy. This is great that you're doing Thor." So it's been both places. Once they found out I was making a Thor run, they were just super stoked, because I guess from what I've seen, not too many people are putting together a Thor run these days. So anyway, guys, yes, Phoenix, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, great comic book stores, and there were so many more that I could have gone to had I not basically blown my budget at both Champions Comics and Fantastic World Fantastic Worlds comics. I could have shopped for days, but anyway, yeah, so that's my haul. And with that, I am now within, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more issues until I have Thor Volume 1 complete from issue number 200 through the end of the first volume. So yeah, I will be looking at eBay for a couple issues here and there, but both in March and April within St. Louis, there's going to be a comic show in mid-March, and what they're calling a con in mid-April. So I look to hopefully complete Thor Volume 1 down to issue 200. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for letting me talk a little bit about Phoenix. It was a great trip. I love going to other comic book stores in other cities to see how they're set up. And yeah, it definitely did not disappoint. So anyway, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Take care.